welcome back to Special Stage and our live coverage of the fourth round of the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. It's the Beaton's Building Supplies Jim Clark Rally, and we've got some big news after stage 5. Fogo, Elliot Payne ended that stage, or didn't end that stage, more to the point, on the roof. That car is back in service. The crew are okay, but they're going no further. That does change things as far as our championship leaderboard is concerned. Callum Black, Jack Morton now in the lead, but get this, it's just 0.7 of a second. James Ford and Neil Shanks behind them, breathing down their necks quite literally in that Citroen C3 Rally 2. We're just waiting for the cars through stage 5 here. It's the first of the second loop of stages for today. Again, we're back in Edinburgh. Thank you once again to 1990 FIA Ladies World Rally Champion Louise Aitken-Walker for joining us in that first running of the stage. What a privilege, and how amazing to hear the passion that she still has for the sport. What an ambassador, and how significant what she did was for all of the ladies competing today in rallying and perhaps across motorsport. She was the first British world champion in our sport. Just let that sink in. The first lady winner of a national rally. She got an MBE for her efforts, and the prestigious Seagrave Award, which has also been won since by Lewis Hamilton. It was won before Louise by Sterling Moss, Amy Johnston. It's given to people with remarkable achievements on land, sea and through air in the United Kingdom. Thank you again to Louise for joining us. Just awaiting our first competitor through the stage. It will be Works rally driver Adrian Formeau, Alexandra Corrier alongside in that Fiesta Rally 2. Works driver, Works car, that's exactly how the British Rally Championship should be. We are, of course, covering the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship leaderboard. But if you want to follow the results of the overall rally, you can go to results.djames.org.uk. And we're going to extend the competition as well, rolling over that prize for the model of Jason Pritchard's Protyre Asphalt Rally Championship winning Focus WRC. All you've got to do is predict the top 3 in today's rally, not the leaderboard for the Asphalt Championship Cruise, but for the overall rally. Keep it simple. Predict the top 3, comment on the stream, and if you predict it correctly, you will go into the draw to win that model. We've got a very special one coming up soon as well. Louise Aitken-Walker had a hand in that today. More on that soon. Other big news from the motorsport, the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship Cruise. Brad Cole, Jamie Vaughan have retired. They hit the bridge in, again, I think it was stage 5. Bit of damage to that Mark II Escort, and that pair lamenting that their championship campaign probably over for this season. We're 4 rounds in, of course, here. 2 rounds last time out on the banks, and we opened the season, seems a long time ago now, doesn't it, in February on the Reed Group East Riding stages. A new rally for the championship calendar. David Henderson, who comes here today looking to get some more points on the board, took a convincing victory at that first round of the championship. David Wright comes here second in the championship, took a second place at the opening round, took a first place at the first of the Manx rounds a couple of weeks ago, and of course retired, if you were following the coverage, on day 2 of the Manx, which was round 3 of the championship. Are you keeping up? I'm Paul Woodford, this is Special Stage. We are delighted you can join us today in, well, we swapped the sunshine of the Manx for the sunshine of the borders of Scotland here. And we're in the 6th stage of the day, the first stage of this second loop. And after the drama of last night, in all manner of ways, very professionally handled by the Beaton's Building Supplies Jim Clark Rally organisers, it has to be said, last night, given some fairly challenging circumstances that they had to deal with. We got the rally underway and we went into day 2. Fights all over the place to look out for. One of the fights actually that we were looking at this morning in the first stage of the day, which was stage 3, was that Class B11 fight. Ollie Hunter came into the first stage today chasing Michael Harbour, 0.2 of a second between them. Took 16 out of him. The hunted became the hunter once again. Sorry, Phil Grammel. As we went into the 4th stage of the day. But now that gap just down to 4.5 seconds between Ollie Hunter and Michael Harbour. Sam Cox, who took a 7th overall finish. Sorry, he didn't, did he? That was Sam Adams. Apologies, Sam Cox. Just flicking through some of the other entries in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. Just having a look for some notable results so far. Will Rowlands, Emir Hall in their historic escort, the first of our two-wheel drive crews. 10th place for Oliver Hunter. Sorry, Will Rowlands in 8th. 10th place for Oliver Hunter, though. Splitting various Anne Theaton, Ian Jackson in the Fiesta R5 Plus. Shout out to James Ford, Neil Shanks, who are on an absolute mission. Just 0.7 behind the lead of the rally. Callum Black, Jack Morton of Head, who took an emphatic victory on the Manx in that Ford Fiesta Rally 2, now being hunted down by that Citroen C3 Rally 2. James Ford, Neil Shanks were the fastest of anybody through that third stage, the first running of this Edram stage, which is absolutely remarkable. Faster than the works. Ford, Adrian Formo, faster than all of the British Rally Championship runners, and faster than any of the Motorsport UK Protyre Asphalt Rally Championship crews. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the Beaton's Building Supplies Jim Clark Rally. It's round 4 of the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. And we are into day 2. We're into the second half of day 2. Leg 3 of the rally. There's still a fair way home. 7 miles through Edram once again. We've got the famous jumps just ahead of us here. We've moved to a few hundred yards down the road from where we were for the first running of the stage. We're just under 3/4 of the way through this 7-mile stage. Then we've got 7.2 miles of Ayton to go. You heard Louise telling us what a formidable stage that is. Fogo up after that. If you want to join Louise Aitken-Walker, Jimmy McRae in Duns, in the square in the town centre, and enjoy a bit of the atmosphere at the finish, which is a really remarkable feature of the Jim Clark Rally. I'm gutted I couldn't get to the start yesterday. Do get down there. If you're watching in Duns on the big screen, hello to you. We hope you're enjoying the Rally Festival here on the borders of Scotland. Thank you for getting behind your local event. We love the passion when we come to these areas of Scotland. Border counties not so long ago in the BTRDA Gravel Series was another cracking event with so much passion around here. And we heard from Louise just how much talent has come out of these lanes and these farms around here. Farming, rallying is in the blood, and you're all behind what is very much a rally festival these days. Busy day on the Scottish borders tomorrow as well. It's Ladies' Day, isn't it, as well as the Jim Clark Reivers. If you're out watching that, please do check out the spectator information on the Jim Clark Rally website. Tons of information on there. The organisers work really hard to put on entertaining and safe places for you to watch the action, so please do take note and listen to the marshals when you're out. Big thank you to those marshals and all the volunteers and officials working hard behind the scenes to ensure we have a cracking day's motorsport. We're awaiting the first cars into this 6th stage of the day. 3 down, including 3 more to go, sorry, including this one. 3 down today. I just want to say something. Martin Spurrell, who a lot of you may know, he runs a number of cars and drivers across the UK, prepares cars, drives cars now as well, but he was instrumental at ProDrive in the careers of Colin McRae, Richard Burns, Martin Spurrell and Mike Rimmer, a friend of his and a well-known rally driver in his own right. Remember the Loctite BMW M3, and he drove a ProDrive Group A Subaru as well back in the 90s. Well, Martin Spurrell, Mike Rimmer are currently in Ukraine. Well, actually they're in Warsaw at the Polish border, waiting a 5.5-hour bus ride on the next leg of their journey. They've been delivering medical supply vehicles and building supplies to some of the hardest hit areas on the front line of the war in Ukraine and helping the locals over there, and it is just one of the most incredible efforts. And I think as a rally community we should be really proud of what Martin Spurrell, Mike Rimmer and the rest of their crew who are delivering those medical vehicles and vital supplies and building materials to the Ukraine are doing. We should be ever so proud of that. So thank you, Martin Spurrell, Mike Rimmer and the rest of you on that mission, the second one that they've done in recent months. And some of the photos that Martin sent me were harrowing. There's no other word for it. Children's nurseries, schools with bullet holes shattering the walls and the windows and crater holes through the walls. Just horrendous scenes, and really putting themselves at risk to help others. And that a member of our rally community, or members of the rally community, are putting themselves through that to help others in the world, I think we should be extremely proud of. So thanks once again. Right, action underway. Adrian Formo, Works rally driver in the WRC Rally 2 category in that Works Ford Fiesta Rally 2. Doing a little dance, doing his stretches before he gets in the car. He's out here at the head of the field. There's very much been heading the field as far as the British Rally Championship is concerned here this weekend on the Jim Clark as well. But as I mentioned earlier, James Ford, Neil Shanks, Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship crew in their Citroen C3 R5 have more than kept them honest, shown a clean pair of heels to everybody through the first running of this Edinburgh stage, stage 3, to start today's proceedings here in the glorious sun-clad borders of Scotland. It's not often we say that, is it? And also, it's so windy that there's no midges. Apologies for the wind. There aren't many places to hide from around here. Jamie, Ben, Reese, come over here. And Sky as well, if she's willing to come over here. We've got some spectators with us, which is a rare treat. We don't normally get spectators joining us because we're usually in remote areas, but we have got you guys joining us. You're locals, enjoying the action so far?
Yeah, loving it. It's been good so far. The weather's mint, so can't complain.
The weather is mint, and being from this part of Scotland, you guys love fair skin, so do watch out for the sun and the sunburn, won't you? Enjoying yourself?
Aye, it's brilliant. I loved it. I've loved coming for years, like, so it's great to have it back on and seeing all the cars come by. Just can't beat it. Like,
how old are you?
I'm 21.
You're Reese, aren't you? Yeah, I remembered that. Isn't that good? 21, so this is the next generation on. Are you going to get yourself in a rally car?
Hopefully one day, aye. We'll see. A lot of money in it, so need to make a bit of that first, and then...
Well, you can get involved as a marshal and get close to Sky. You've come out with the lads this weekend, showing them they were following you. You know where to watch.
Yeah, I show them all the good spots.
You enjoying yourself, though, in the sunshine, your local rally?
Yeah, it's been good. I enjoy watching all the cars go past, and all the boys know, well, the good spots to go see, so it's nice to see them come up the roads.
We had 1990 Ladies World Rally Champion Louise Aiken-Walker joining us in the first run of the stage, and she's local to these parts. She's one of your local heroes. It's a bit of a local rally festival. That's Jamie, Ben, Reese and Sky who are joining us here for the action as we hear Adrian Formeau into the stage now, coming into view about three-quarters of the way into this 7-mile stage, the first of our stages in this third leg, the second part of today. And as you can hear, probably on the microphone, it's pretty windy here in Edinburgh, so we are going to do our best to bring you the full entry once again for the second time today. We hope you've been enjoying this live coverage. If you're watching in Duns in the Square, Formeau, courier through the stage there. Yeah, Louise Aiken-Walker was mentioned to us earlier. Sorry, so what's your name? Robin. Louise Aiken-Walker was saying these were the fields that Jim Clark used to plough.
Yeah, that's right. If you just scan across there, you'll see Chirnside, and that's where our little girl from the primary school is getting crowned today. It's our started with Chirnside Civic Week, which is very good. So, good start there.
Fantastic. Robin giving us a bit of local history. There's so much history and legend in these parts, as you see Keith Cronin, Mikey Galvin through, trying their best to chase down that works driver up ahead, Adrian Formeau, who had so much confidence in the first two stages of last night that he had hard tyres on, showing just how confident he was to get those tyres warmed up. Whereas some of the other crews on the rally last night were struggling to get heat into the tyres. Ewan Thorburn, local legend in these parts. Paul Beaton alongside in that Polo R5. I think that's Ewan's first time out in the Polo as well. And a driver who, over the years, I have loved watching in action. Is always exciting. You saw then just how twitchy these Polos are. You saw it most with Keith Cronin last night, actually. Really hard setup on that Polo. It's just darting all over the place, hanging onto it. Thorburn just hanging his back end out there on this right-hander into where the jumps are that we were watching earlier. So you'll see the cars into a 90 left round a hairpin, a bailed hairpin, and there's a lot of spectators out of that corner. There's like a school party perhaps out watching, which is great to see so many spectators. You heard from some of them there, and everybody enjoying what is a local rally festival here. James Ford and Neil Shanks go well in this stage. In fact, they went better than anybody else, locking the brakes on the way into this corner. You don't often see that, showing just how hard he is trying. Really pushing on in that Citroen, and he's 0.7 of a second behind last time out Manx Rally winner Callum Black. David Henderson and Chris Lees then, winners at round 1. Strong from them through here. You can see how much everybody is pushing now. These conditions are ideal. It's beautiful weather here. And it's just, as Louise mentioned earlier, there's no excuse, is there? Just got to go absolutely flat out. Results.djames.org.uk is where you need to be if you want to watch the live results come through. And Callum Black, Jack Morton there just seemed to be a little slower than we would have expected, and that possibly backed up by the fact that there's definitely less of a gap, less than a 30-second gap between Callum and Dale Robertson there. Not sure what's happened there, but you did hear me mention earlier, hopefully, that Elliot Payne, Tom Woodburn crashed out in stage 5 that ended with the car on its roof. The crew are okay, the car is not. They'll be going no further. So desperately wanted some points on the board here, but there's a man who's got plenty of points on the board coming into this round. Neil Roskell, Andrew Ruffhead alongside. David Wright, Paula Swinsko, been going well as well. Just flicking to the overall Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship leaderboard. If I can find it. Let's have a look. I'm doing exactly what you're doing. Results.djames.org.uk. And here we go. So David Wright and Paula Swinsko, 4th place coming into this stage. Just over half a minute to make up on David Henderson, who's in that podium position. Michael Binney, Claire Mole. Local pair. We heard Louise Aitken-Walker talking about her times with Claire Mole on the notes in the car. David Bogey ever so sideways around that 90 left, just kicking up the dust on the bank on the outside. Kevin Ray alongside. New car to them. Maximising every single bit of performance in that Mark II. You see the diffuser on the back of that car as every single little trick in the book thrown at that Mark II Escort. Roger Clark, Ari Vatanen, Pentti Ricola, the names that used to drive on these lanes could only imagine what would happen in the evolution of the Mark II Escort. 50, 60 years on. Andy Fennick in his Hyundai i20 R5 out here enjoying himself on the Scottish border lanes. We don't often see Andy out at the moment. He used to do full campaigns here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. Just does a bit of picking and choosing these days. Perhaps once he gets settled into a car, we will see a full campaign. There's a man who is having somewhat troubled campaign so far, but I'm pleased to say is back out and has committed to a full season here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. Steve Simpson, Patrick Walsh, 7th place to start the season at the Regroup East Riding stages. 2 DNFs on the Manx rounds, but 6th place on the leaderboard here so far on the Beatsons Building Supplies Jim Clark Rally round 4 of the series. Will be a good haul of points to start clawing his way back up that championship points leaderboard. Neil Ruskell just in front of him on the leaderboard today, 5th place. Similar rally to Fiesta. You see Ross Hunter and Martin Woodcock through the stage in their Evo 9. So we've lost Elliot Payne and Tom Woody Woodburn. They were going so well on the board as well, very frustrating. Hugh Brunton, Drew Sturrocar, a new registration to the championship here. Bit of a moment for them in the second stage last night, but really getting on the pace today. 7th place coming into this. Will Rowland's the first of the two-wheel drive cars. Bit of a gap back to him in 8th. If you're just tuning in and wondering why we have a bit of a mix of crews, we are mixing ranks here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship with the British Rally Championship crews. It means a fantastic entry and a great spectacle for the spectators. And it means you guys get a double whammy. We are covering the championship story today. But if you do want to follow the overall rally results, you can do that at results.tj.org.uk. Rory Young, Alan Cathers there, who unfortunately held up James Ford and Neil Shanks last night in the first of last night's Long for Macca's stages. I'm going to have to ask a local. How do you pronounce Long for Macca's? Because I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong. Long for Macca's, there we go. I just had a feeling I was saying that right. Long for Darb. Okay, that'll do. That's even more local. Long for Darb. I'm sure I will have pleased a few people on the live stream with that one. Scott Macbeth, Daniel Forsyth. Can't get over what a privilege it was to have Louise Aitken-Walker with us in the first running of this stage earlier on today. To have someone who's done so much for the sport, achieved so much in her career, still so passionate and still such a big ambassador for the sport and for this area. And what rallying means to this area is pretty special. We should definitely celebrate that. If you want to meet Louise and you're here this weekend, her, along with Jimmy McRae, will be at the finish just before 2 o'clock in Duns Town Square this afternoon. Great atmosphere, go and sample it if you can. Darren Atkinson, Mark Twynham. 11th place coming here in the championship. 2 DNFs in the Manx rounds after an off on the first day. There's Steve Petch, not featuring in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship crews, unfortunately, but perhaps we'll see him back in these ranks before long. Just looking back to Darren Atkinson was second in B13 coming into this stage. Mark Holmes, Mark Perryman, one hell of a pace from them. Big gap back to Darren Atkinson in that position, who's in a fairly comfortable spot, 31 seconds ahead of Jerry Fitzel and Mark Mason themselves. Don't forget, if you want to be in with a chance of winning that model of Jason Pritchard's Focus WRC, kindly supplied by rally-model.co.uk. Predict your top 3 in today's rally by commenting under this stream. We've kept it open to this stream as well, so it gets easier and easier as you go through the day. John Stone, Laura Connell through in their Polo R5. Perhaps just needing to get the hammer down this afternoon. Had a really difficult day so far, dropping a lot of time down in 23rd after some issues. Hello to Ben Lawrence, Stephen Brown, Neil Matthews, Jeff Atkinson, fellow clan driver. I was pleased that I managed to get the clan reference into Andy Dawson earlier. Set up expertly by our resident rally legend, Louise Aitken-Walker, William Hill. Richard Crozier there in the Rally 3 Fiesta, having a better run here. Well, certainly in terms of concerns with the car, shall we say, because they were concerned about the brakes, weren't they, last time out in the Manx, and the parts supply particularly. I'm sure they'll have extra brakes on board that service van this weekend. 6th place, though, they took on the 3rd round of the series, which was day 2 of the Manx Rally. Hello to Chris Hosey, young rally reporter who is in service and sending me various updates. James Williams, Di Roberts, unfortunately, went off fairly close to where Elliot Payne and Tom Woodburn went off in stage 5. They've retired in that Rally 2 Fiesta. So losing some notable names from both the BRC and the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship leaderboards. This will be our last live stage of the day, but we will be live back at the finish as well. A bit of reaction from our overall championship top 3 and our two-wheel drive top 3 as well. Simon Bowen has had a bit of a mixed bag so far. He smacked the front of that car. You can see the crumpled bonnet if you look closely. Craig Simkis alongside on chicane last night and lost the lamp pod. It was dangling down the front of the car and made for a bit of a difficult opening night, down in 29th place coming into this stage. Tough event so far for him. Mark James will be back with you for more live coverage the next round of the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, the Argyle Rally, the end of June. And I'm delighted to say I'll be taking my first ever trip to Ireland. I know, how is that a thing? First ever trip to Ireland for the Down Rally. I'm really looking forward to that one. So if you're going to that, I've got a feeling we'll have a crack. That's what we say, isn't it? Just see on the corner as the cars come into view, the spectators in the field behind clinging to the fence. Maybe 3-4 generations there, all enjoying their rallying here in the Scottish borders. Lovely scenes. Jerry Fitzell, Mark Mason then hunting down. Is that Alistair Inglis? Fiesta. Jerry going really well today. Hello to Steve Link, Ryan Purvis who've tuned in. Don't forget, if you want to get your predictions in, you've got your last chance to do it now for the top 3 on the rally. If you get your predictions in and you're right, you go in the draw to win that rally-models.co.uk model of Jason Pritchard's Focus WRC. It's a fantastic little model. It'll make a really nice addition to your rally memorabilia collection, or if you collect models, then all the better. And you can have a look at the other themed models as well at rally-models.co.uk. Thanks, guys. So some of our spectators moving on from this location. Enjoy the rest of what has become a bit of a rally festival in these parts. You heard Louise telling us earlier what an important part of this local community the rally has become, and of course the Reavers tomorrow, Ladies' Day at the races as well. Busy time for Berwickshire this weekend. Johnny Mulholland, Aon Tracy there in the BRC 3 category in that Rally 3 Fiesta, a bit like William Hill's similar car in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. So, Edrum 2, which is the stage we're in now, has started to get some times through. Although, as things stand... Okay, right, at the moment, we could tell Callum Black, Jack Morton was struggling through there, couldn't we? They've dropped back to 5th place at the moment. They were leading coming into this by 0.7 of a second from James Ford, Neil Shanks, who've now taken the lead and are 11.7 seconds ahead of David Henderson and Chris Lees. David Wright, Paula Swinsko in 3rd place, 30 seconds back. So Callum Black and Jack Morton have had a real struggle on there. I'm not sure. See if we can get Chris Hosey to find out what's gone on there. Perhaps if you're following Matt Cosson's end of stage interviews, you can get a bit of a feel for what's gone on there. If anybody does know what's happened to Callum and Jack, please do comment underneath the stream. Neil Roskell, Andrew Ruffhead now in a chasing position, 36 seconds behind David Wright. As you see, young Archie Swinsko, Jane Nichol. Mums up in 3rd place. Paula Swinsko co-driving for David Wright. After their bitter disappointment, they won the 2nd round of the championship, the first day of the Manx Rally, and retired with a very bizarre fatigue failure, shall we say, on the Fiesta R5 when the suspension smashed through the inner turret at the top of the suspension turret inside the boot. calling it game over for the third round of the series, to day 2 of the Manx Rally. And there's Archie Swinsko with Jane Nichol alongside, going ever so well this season in that Vauxhall Adam. I won't say surprising everybody, because we've seen the pace from them before, and Archie does know how to pedal that car well. He's one of the up-and-coming stars in the sport. Dare say, with a bit of budget behind him and a four-wheel drive front-running car underneath him, could do some big things. Watch this space is probably the best thing to say there. Des Campbell, Craig Forsyth in their Peugeot 206, lighting up the asphalt here in the Scottish border lanes. We're in Edram, famous bit of stage. The fields either side of here are the fields that Jim Clark would have once ploughed. The man with his name above the doors, the man whose legend and prestigious achievements hanging the air and galvanised the motorsport spirit here in the town of Duns and the surrounding area. Everybody's so proud of his achievements. As a Formula 1 Grand Prix driver, touring car driver, there was a Mark 1 Lotus Cortina racing car parked up in Duns last night. Couldn't get close enough as I was driving past to get to the stage to see if it was the car, but I know the car exists and does reside here in the museum in Duns, so perhaps they'd taken it out to display, who knows. Michael Harbour, Ian McDougall in a real battle for B11 honours. Let's just, excuse me while I flick through the results, because the times, it was 6 seconds, wasn't it? Oliver Hunter, so 4.5 seconds, and there is Oliver Hunter, 4.5 seconds ahead of Michael Harbour in the Escort up ahead. There were 0.2 of a second between them coming into the first loop of today, and Ollie taking 16 out of Michael Harbour in the third stage, the first running of this Edram stage. Now 4.5 ahead. The fight very much on. The wrong way round on the road as far as the position on the leaderboard goes. Michael Harbour the one doing the hunting at the moment. Ollie Hunter keeping a close eye behind on the pace of his close competitor. Some really good battles in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship this season. If that's not a reason to get your entry in for the championship, either this or next season, I don't know what is. Live coverage of every round, close battles, whatever clash you're in. A fantastic organising crew. Paul Wakely, Paul Morris, Donna Preston doing such a fantastic job of making this championship something special. Do throw your hat in the ring. Barry Groundwater, Martin Forrest through in that glorious looking Marlboro-esque Mitsubishi Evo 6. Yeah, it's been an exciting, I've only subbed for certain rounds to come from Mark James this season when he's been out of the country, but I've been delighted to do that. 10 years since I was last doing the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, and it's good to be back. The events are as good as I remember them, if not better. The competition is as fierce as ever. The camaraderie and the banter, the WhatsApp group is something to behold at times, let me tell you. So congratulations to Paul and Donna, who really have got this championship back to the forefront of rallying in the UK. It's back at its best, as far as I'm concerned. It's very best. Lee and Cole Hastings, not far from Dumfries. That pair in there, B14 Impreza, cracking looking car that. There's always certain cars that when you rock up at scrutineering or at the service area and the spectators are having a wander around, that people sort of gravitate towards, and that Hastings Subaru is one of them. Really smart looking rally car. Talking earlier to Louise as well, weren't we, about just how well prepared everything is right now. Cannot find a rough or badly prepared rally car certainly at the start of the day. I'm not sure what you'd make of Elliot Payne's Mango Go Fiesta Rally 2 right now after his incident in stage 5, but certainly at the beginning of the day you can't find a badly prepared rally car. And I suppose, you know, the governing body Motorsport UK sometimes takes a bit of flack for the cost of the sport and everything else, and some of it's unfair, and I think we should put credit where it's due. The regulations changes over the years, and the insistence on continuous safety progress and making sure that cars are built to the very best standards has contributed and probably led that charge in car preparation standards, and it really is quite something to behold. The service area here in the Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship is a real toy shop for a rally fan like me, because that's why I'm here with you. That is what I am at my heart, a rally fan. Mike English, Andy Robinson, another pair of rally fans who are enjoying their time in that Rally 2 Fiesta. Just outside the top 10, 13th place at the moment. Not much of a battle ahead at the moment. 42 seconds ahead is Michael Harbour. But they've only got 4 seconds back to Steve Ormond-Smith in the Mitsubishi Evo 9, so lots of watching those fancy M Sport mirrors on that Rally 2 car. Struggled in the first stage last night, couldn't sledge reverse in that car, but it didn't dampen their enthusiasm. Got to the end of the stage and was ready to go again, and absolutely loved it. Barry Rennick, Steve Dargan there in their Mark II, always go well here. Just cooling off slightly. It's not going to have any major difference out there on the stages, but you know, the hotter it gets, that is significant, because your tyres start to go off, whereas the cool air and the wind, as you can still hear, it is quite windy, will just take the edge off that little bit, making it a little easier for our crews. You know what? That is one, talking of well-prepared cars, that is one of the most beautiful looking cars, with its Ford Motorsport, or would it have been Ford, I don't know, Special Vehicle Operations back then, livery. Jeff Roberts, Graham Wild in their Escort RS 1800. Cracking looking car. Sounding great, echoing through the lanes at the Scottish borders. A very different challenge, the stages today, compared to Abbey St Bathans and the Longford Makers stage of last night. Very hilly and not very characteristic, really, of the Jim Clark overall. Iconic stage, but the rest of the stages are very much like this. Tight, twisty, technical, but you can see for miles, and you've got long straights and then technical sections in between, as Neil Roskell said at the start, as we saw Mark Holmes and Mark Perryman, by the way, through. Mark Perryman making the trip over from the Isle of Man, following the cruise back over here to the mainland. I know locals over there don't like it referred to as the mainland, as Barry Ford told me. But that's okay. I don't mean any disrespect when I say that. Yeah, very different set of challenges today, but no less tough. Neil Roskell saying you're swapping the speed of the Manx Rally for the technical, challenging lanes of the Scottish borders, and wow, he wasn't wrong. Just ask Elliot Payne and Tom Woodburn, who have succumbed to those technical lanes. They were gunning for glory yesterday. You could see throwing the car, literally throwing the car over the blind crest and bouncing off the bank in the first stage. As you see Phil Morton and Joe Hind Morton, Jack Morton's dad, driving that Datsun Sunny B310. That's how we got talking about Andy Dawson earlier with Louise Aitken-Walker, and that's how I got my, well, I always get some kind of mention in, but that's how I got my Clan Crusader reference into today's live coverage here on Special Stage. If you're just tuning in, if you're watching in Dunstown Square, hello to you. We hope you're sticking around for the finish. Just before 2 o'clock, the first cars will be due back at the finish, and you've got a couple of rally legends there as well. Louise Aitken-Walker being joined by Jimmy McRae. stories those pair have got to tell between them. Wow. Do join them at the finish if you can and enjoy the atmosphere down there. If you're watching from home, hello to you, whatever you're doing. Tim Rogers had a very posh breakfast this morning. No eggs royale for him. It was literally champagne for breakfast. He sent me a picture as well, so I know for a fact. Sam Cox, Paul Brown in their little Clio. I say little Clio, it doesn't really give you a full context of how quick they've been going, because in B11 terms, third place behind Michael Harbour and Ollie Hunter, those hard charging Mark II Escorts. Behind that is the battle of the Clios. Sam Cox and Mick Quinn, although Mick out of contention at this stage. Now I do like variety, but I think a Lotus Exige on the border lanes of the Jim Clark Rally must be absolutely terrifying. Greg Inglis, Ian Parker doing a good job of showing, of covering up for the terror that they must see when they're bouncing around in that effectively supercar, isn't it? I suppose it's only really like a Darien, but unlike a Darien, it wasn't designed for these kind of lanes. Darians, by the way, notable by their absence this weekend. Last time I was on the Jim Clark, prior to 2022, I came out last year, John Indry was out in his Darien. Shows you how long ago my last visit was. That's the car I had a really good look around in the service area today. Kieran O'Kane, Barry McLennan, that Opel Ascona, beautiful car. But you can hear from the gear changes that there's a lot of technology under that historic looking skin. Should we say very Irish spec? Would that be fair? Looking forward to a few Irish spec cars on the Down Rally in a month or so's time. Remember, if you want to win that Focus WRC model, you need to predict the top three on today's rally. Comment your top three on this stream. Producer Wayne will then go through the comments at the end of the day and pick a winner at random. Go into a draw if you've got the top three correct. Paul Gibbs has got Formo, Cronin, Thorburn. Not a bad shout. Until recently, you'd have had Callum Black in there. You should really have James Ford in there, shouldn't you? Adrian Spencer, Ashley Trimble in there, B14 Impreza there. Stephen Brown letting us know a bit of inside knowledge. The Lotus is incredibly comfortable to co-drive in. Comfortable? Are we having that? I'm not sure that is a very well picked word, Stephen Brown. Although I know I'll take your superior knowledge of that. I mean, my little Clan Crusader on these lanes, which is a similar type of car, albeit 50 years difference in technology, would be anything but comfortable. Good fun, traumatic at times, terrifying at others, but comfortable. Getting lots of mentions for Clan Crusaders in today. By the way, on a personal note, thank you so much to all of you in the rally community who helped me raise awareness and spread the word and get that classic Mini Clubman returned to its owner after it was stolen from an NHS nurse who came off her shift to find her pride and joy gone last Sunday. What a week that's been. Millions and millions of views thanks to people like you, and I know a lot of you have mentioned it to me both on the live stream and when I've seen you here at the event, so a huge thank you to everyone who's supported with that effort. We can all own that one as a success, and one in the eye for people who need to just stop stealing our bloody cars. The Motorscope Mark I Escort, the historic rally car that went missing as well a few weeks ago, was also returned thanks to the power of social media. So please don't underestimate the power that you have when you share a post like that. You really can make a difference, and you certainly did this week. Darren Martin, Daniel Hurst through in their Fiesta R5. Neil Matthews, LSU, Mark Burrows, Alistair Wells, saying it took ages to get that livery right. Which livery are we talking about, Alistair? I'm reading this out of sync. What livery are we talking about? Livery Alistair's talking about. What liveries have I mentioned? I've mentioned the Marlboro-esque livery on the Mitsubishi Evo 6. That'll be the one that Alistair Wells will be talking about, won't it?
The Mark 1, I think.
The Mark 1. Oh, I don't know. If you're still with us, let us know. Abigail Jane Nevins, if you're in the area and you want to check out the next stage on from this one is Ayton, 7.2 miles, but to be honest, you probably better go into Fogo, leapfrogging the next one if you want to get some of the top guys through there. I say top guys, I don't mean that in any disrespectful way to anybody else. Paul Gibbs, James Ford, absolutely on it. Michael Callow said Callum Black has hit something and damaged the steering. Well, that makes a lot of sense because he has dropped right back to 5th place, and you could tell coming past us the pace just wasn't there. Ollie Hunter has joined the live stream. Is that the Ollie Hunter? I can't see on the profile picture. It's a bit small, but if it is, Ollie Hunter opposite us in the field, I think. I got a wave when I said that. There we go. It's that Ollie Hunter, not the Ollie Hunter inside the car. Apologies to that Ollie Hunter if you're not the... do you know what? Never mind, Woodford. You've already offended Nigel Worswick and Jimmy McRae on this live coverage today. Why not offend Ollie Hunter as well? Good to have so many people joining us, whether they're in the field opposite us, in the town centre in Duns on the big screen. Hello to you. Hello to Dunk Vincent, who is entertaining the crowds this weekend on the Beaton's Building Supplies Jim Clark Rally and on the Jim Clark Reavers tomorrow as well. Dunk, a bit of a legend in motorsport, presenting and commentary. Always good to team up with him. Hopefully we get a chance to catch up later, mate. Jamie, wait for it Noble, says, can you say hi to my brother Jamie? Consider it done. Hello to Jamie. Oh, Alistair Wells, Jeff Roberts Escort. Yeah, cracking livery on that car. He did well. XRKSKXSXUL, is that a name? I'm not going to try and pronounce it. Sul. What area is this? Edram is the stage we're in now, which is stage 6, the first in the second loop. Paul Taylor's got his prediction in for the top 3 on the rally. Thorburn, Formo, Cronin. I'm really disappointed not to see Callum Black in those top 3 predictions. I mean, you're right, because of what's the fate that's befallen him, hitting something in that stage and damaging the steering, but he was going so well. Elliot Payne as well. Our 2 Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship frontrunners. That is going to be it for our live coverage, because we've got a gap in proceedings now. We have to get to the finish. We'll join you for one more bit of live coverage, and we'll get the reaction from our top 3 overall Protyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship crews and our top 2-wheel drive crews as well from service. Thank you for joining us today. Do join us for that bit of live reaction if you can, and don't forget you've got literally seconds to get your predictions in for the top 3 while I'm finishing off what I am saying to win that Jason Pritchard model. Thanks again to Louise Aitken Walker for joining us on the live coverage today, but as always, it's you guys that join us, and you know that's why we do this, so thank you very much, and we'll see you again very soon.